to invite your attention to the book of Revelation, Revelation, the 3rd chapter, verses 20 through 22. And it reads, "Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come in to him and will sup with him, and he with me. To him that overcometh will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I also overcame and am set down with my Father in his throne. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches." I want to talk about locked out. And this morning I'll look at 3 things. First of all, we'll look at that he is at the door. Secondly, he will not force the door open. And thirdly, he is willing to have fellowship with us. Beloved, in this season in which we're in, everybody is talking about the coronavirus. We are listening to CNN and NSBC. We are listening to the different cable station, the radio station, and we have experts telling us that we need to be careful. We need to have our distance. We need to make sure that we are wearing our mask. But beloved, the real truth is, and we've done this years ago, decades ago, we locked God out. We've locked him out of our homes, where many in our homes don't even take the time to have prayer. We used to would have prayer over dinner. We don't even take the time now to pray and to bless our food. We've locked him out of our schools. We took prayer out of school. We said we didn't need Jesus in school. We want our civil liberties. We don't want to be able to pray and to acknowledge that God is the God of creation. So we've locked him out of our schools, but we also have locked him out of our businesses. America used to be a God country. Now on Sunday, we're filling stadiums, we're filling arenas, we're at the golf course, and we don't even take time to acknowledge that God is the God of this universe. Now that we've locked him out, now we're begging for him to come in, begging to come back to our homes, begging to come into our businesses, begging to come in our schools. And yes, begging him to come in our churches. When we've only allowed him in one time a week, now we're thirsty for him. The book of Revelation opens for us and allows us to have a sneak preview into this church of the Laodiceans who had shut God out. They bragged about their wealth, they bragged about their riches, yet they never bragged about their faith. And so here Jesus is standing at the door, knocking at the door, and they will not allow him to come in. We have all of these technology devices now. We got Ring, and you can ring the doorbell and folk can see you outside. And we know that Christ is outside of our culture, but we won't let him in. Yeah, he's standing at the door, wanting to get in, but we won't allow him in. I encourage you, beloved, in this season of uncertainty, this season of calamity, we ought to allow Christ into our lives once again. But not only is he standing, but he's also speaking. You hear his voice. I've heard his voice. The sheep know the voice of the shepherd, yet we will not acknowledge that it's Jesus at the door. We don't even have to ask who is it at the door. We know he's at the door trying to get in. Beloved, you ought to let him in. This is the day that the Lord hath made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. If God is in, let him come in, for the body is the temple of God, where the Spirit of God dwells. We should allow him into our lives. Secondly, I want you to look with me, if you will, that he will not force the door open. He's standing at the door, he's knocking, but he will not break in. He will not force his way in. He has to be invited in. That's what salvation is all about. Salvation is about invitation. And if you invite him into your life, he will become Lord. He will guide and direct you in all your ways. The proverbial writer has written that in all of thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path. In all your ways acknowledge him. So you must allow him to come in. He won't not take second place. He must be first. He must be Lord in your life, to govern your life. We're looking for a vaccine. We're looking for a cure for this virus. And God is saying, I have the cure. You won't be cured. You won't find the vaccine unless you acknowledge me as God. He will not break in. He will not force the door open. Beloved, if you just realize there's an opportunity is waiting for you at the door. The best thing that could ever happen to you in this world, that you invite God in. I pray deeply that we would allow God back in our society, allow him back in our schools, and take some of this mess out of our school. We have to have police guards, and we have to have metal detectives, and children coming to schools belonging to different gangs. If you're in Chicago, the Gangster Disciples and the Vice Lord. If you're here in Washington, D.C., the MS-13 or the 10th Street crew or the M Street crew. All of these different gangs in our schools, and our children are not learning. We must put education first again, where our children can learn. What does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose your soul? Allow him to come in. It's a great opportunity if you let him come in. Oh my God, what a blessing to be sitting across from Jesus like the apostles and disciples of old, and just hear him speak to us wisdom and knowledge. You ought to let him in. But secondly, not only the opportunity is waiting at the door, but he's asking if you would open the door and if you want him in. The atheist can do whatever you want, atheist. You don't have to believe. Psalm 53 said, the fool has said in his heart, there's no God. But we know there's a God. The trees declare there's a God. The sun, moon, and stars declare it's a God. Even in our vulnerability, we're crying out to an holy God made the mountains and the molehills, made the rivers, the bays, the stream, the ocean, the seas, and the river lack, it is a God. Open the door, and he will come in and sup with you.